Hi, I'm Joe, and you're watching NinJAvatar. Just wanted to give you a heads up before the reaction. I recorded this reaction in December of 2024 and have only been able to edit it now. So, not really sure what issues will arise from that, but I hope you enjoy. Warning: spoilers ahead for Avatar: The Last Airbender, Avatar: Legend of Korra, as well as Chronicles of the Avatar, the KYOSHI novels. If you're continuing to watch, I assume you have assimilated the aforementioned series and/or texts. Your fault to do so past this point is no longer my prerogative. Last chance to click off. If not, onto the reaction. This is Avatar: The Last Airbender, Netflix live action episode 2. It has been a while since I did this, so a lot of stuff got in the way. I'm probably going to make a different video on that and what's coming up. Though, okay, just to start, I have my notebook right here, reminding myself of what happened last time. Essentially, what happened last time, so we went over Aang's background, then we started to go, he went into the ice, we went over them finding him, and then we moved on to the attack on the Wolf Village. I forget what the name is. Wolf's Cove. The attack on Wolf's Cove. And then we went through episode 3, essentially, which was the Eastern Air Temple, where we Aang found out that all his people have been genocided. So, oh wow, that's bad. Okay. The one thing I definitely remember from the last one a point that I had was that the chemistry between Aang and Katara just doesn't seem to be there. And I don't know if that just might be a weird thing with the age of the actors or something like that, how that's written. But I'm hoping that it's going to be explored in episode 2, which is Warriors. I'm guessing this is Warriors of KYOSHI, which I believe would have been episode 4, just before the Earth King. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of difficulties with this VTuber model. I'm going to try a kind of hybrid thing where I'll try switch his faces as often as possible, and then I might just have to do some editing when I get into it. But now that all that's settled, I have all my recordings going. Capturing this is just insane. I'm going to start on episode 2, Warriors.
But your unceasing effort is what led you to the Avatar.
He ran! The ultimate warrior! He's a coward!
It's evasion! Airbender tactics! What do you mean he ran?
It's clear that this Avatar is not what you nor anyone else would have expected.
Of course, he's a 12-year-old kid. What were you expecting? Yeah, you're expecting an old man. It's just like, of course.
How many places can there be for an Avatar to hide?
I mean, there'd be a lot.
According to this, Avatar is the fiercest of warriors and the master of what they call the Avatar state. Maybe something in her shrine will help me control my power before...
You kill someone?
Okay, just before we go on, I do love the fact that okay, technically he should have studied all this history before, and it's kind of what was alluded to, or no, it was what was actually stated. As soon as he learned he was the Avatar, he went through all these trials, and he had to learn a bunch of stuff. I forgot the name of his master. How? Okay. I feel like Gyatso. Monk Gyatso had to like stop all the other elder monks, the elders, from just like taking him and stopping him from being a kid. But in this one, he didn't get any of that actually. So he's starting from the point of view where he knew nothing and now he needs to learn everything, even the history of the Avatar. I mean, KYOSHI also went through a similar thing where, no, it wasn't well, yeah, that's a whole different thing. I won't spoil that. But either way, yeah, you're supposed to learn a lot. And the way this was written, he doesn't have that history. And it's like, it's an impediment, actually. Though now that I'm thinking about it, did he have the history in the original series? He kind of just also learned that as he went on. Katara knew more about the Avatars than anyone else. In the original series, it was because they were searching for elephant koi. I think. Not sure. Yes, okay, it's because he wanted to ride the elephant koi. So they're just giving him a reason to go to KYOSHI. I don't know if I like them disrupting the story like that. But we'll see how they wrote it.
Before it happens again.
Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot about, he just said the killing. Oh, Sokka, come on.
It's time to go home.
What?
What?
We did our part. We saved him from the firebender. Our duty is to protect the village like Dad told us to.
They can protect themselves.
When?
If the world is gonna have any chance, it's gonna need Aang. And you're right. We do have a duty, and it's to protect the Avatar.
Protect him? You want to protect him, the guy who nearly blew us off the top of this mountain.
So, this is out of fear.
Ever since he came into our lives, things have changed for me.
For you? This is how they find Momo? Oh man, this is just gonna be a complete write-off at this point. Write-off. Ah.
Katara, something's wrong with your bag.
Hey! That's our food!
That's not a bad Momo.
What's this?
And this is how she finds the, oh my gosh. Okay, this is a, I don't know.
The waterbenders of our tribe for generations.
There goes that episode.
Contains everything you need to know to begin your bending education.
And you never gave her this.
How hard it's been to keep this from you. But
Why?
with the Fire Nation hunting for benders, it was just too
okay.
dangerous for you to have. But now
Never mind.
that you've
That
gone
makes
out
sense,
into the
actually.
world, you should take what belongs to you. You are a waterbender. That is who you have always been, and always will be. Never forget that.
See? This never would have happened if we hadn't left home.
Fine, we'll go to KYOSHI Island and see how it goes.
I don't know how I feel about them moving past this so fast. I don't know. The first episode wasn't bad, it was good, but now I may be starting to see issues with the pacing in episode 2. I was so ready to be like lauding this show while everyone else hated it. No. Okay, I'm gonna wait and see.
Zuko, you must try this. It's got... what's it got?
Quail pole egg.
Quail pole egg. Very good for...
Vitality.
vitality.
Uncle Iroh's best.
This port houses the headquarters of the Regional Fire Nation Commander.
Zhao.
If anything unusual were to happen in the vicinity, it will be reported here.
And why are you there? I'm with him on this one.
Commander, if they've seen the Avatar,
Yeah,
before
dude,
he gets
this
out,
is bad.
Everyone in the world will be looking for him. I could lose everything.
Calm yourself, Prince Zuko. One thing you must learn is how to get what you want without divulging your true intentions.
Oh, I see.
But most importantly, you need to have sticky rice.
I mean, it's delicious, but I don't see how that helps.
There she is.
Okay. Shoot, wait, go back on that one. I wanna, oh my gosh. I said when I recorded the reaction to that trailer that I really wish I had taken pictures of all the maps from the Avatar Generations game. Was it Generations? Yeah, I think it's Generations. From the Avatar Generations gacha game, because then I could compare this landmass to how KYOSHI was actually drawn. Wait, I could also just check it on... I could check it in the map, but I also do want to just see those isometric drawings again. Oh man, I'm gonna have to look up like a bunch of clips to try and find that.
There she is. Giant scary lady.
Yeah. Giant scary. Yeah.
Check this out.
that you're just gonna get jumped at that point.
Should you
Yeah.
go in there?
The answer to that question is no. No, he shouldn't. Because jumped immediately. Exactly.
What? What's happening?
You're getting jumped and immediately taken
You
down.
are trespassing on sacred ground. Stop! You're making a mistake.
I mean,
He's the Avatar. Ridiculous. There would have been signs if he was the Avatar.
like the statue glowing? Or that?
I think that might be a sign.
Yeah, I think so too.
For 100 years, KYOSHI Island has remained safe from the ravages of war by keeping to ourselves. We expect the outside world to do the same.
We're not here
Yeah,
to
that's
make any trouble.
not reasonable.
All I want is to learn more about Avatar KYOSHI. Isn't that what this place is about? Keeping our memory alive?
I mean,
Not a threat,
KYOSHI
maybe not,
Island.
but the next visitors might be. We can't start making
Definitely.
exceptions.
We're not just any visitors.
Also
He's
fair.
the Avatar.
According to you. And a few reflections off a statue.
I know you're
What?
scared. I don't know what life
No, just pause T on that one for a second. According to the glowing light in the sky and the fact he's the only airbender you have ever seen, yes, he's the Avatar. I mean, what other like situation are you thinking? Like, hey, man, this this kid can jump real high, and the sun was just acting weird. No, he's the Avatar. That's such an insane situation to just like discount this child. He's the only airbender you or anyone else has ever seen. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. Fear. Let's go with angsting. They're afraid.
To be honest, I don't know what life has been like anywhere.
Asleep for 100 years.
Been away for a
Oh,
while.
asleep for 100. Trapped in ice for 100 years.
People help each other.
Because you're monks. All the monks are dead, by the way. So,
I know I don't belong here.
people might just stop helping each
That's
other.
something I've been feeling a lot lately. But if you can help me, if I can learn to be the Avatar, maybe I could bring the place I knew. A world where people were happier back.
I'm reminded that KYOSHI herself often benefited from the kindness of strangers. And as the Avatar, she believed in helping those who could not help themselves.
Okay, I just wanted to like take that quote in. I'm actually also gonna make. I'm making a few notes. Let me just first take the notes. Then I'm gonna focus on that quote. Okay, let me hear that quote again.
She herself often benefited from the kindness of strangers.
Of the books I have read, that is simply not true. I don't know if she lived a long life. I don't know if later that happened But that's just not true in the beginning. It's not true in the teenage ages either. I don't think. Okay. Proceed.
And as the Avatar, she believed in helping those who could not help themselves.
Okay, that one I believe. That one I believe.
So we will open our village to our guests for 48 hours.
That seems fair.
I trust that you will respect the limits of our generosity.
Okay, we're seeing Aang get like the threat of time so much sooner than he did in the original series. However, that then lessens the threat of Zuko when he later comes, and also shortening the time from, I think it was about maybe, it was at least over a week they spent on Kyoshi Island in the original series. So now we're like shortening it to 48. I feel like a lot of things are happening really fast, and I don't know if that's going to lend well to this story.
I get it. I know why you wanted us off your island. I'd have done the same thing.
He would have.
It's a big responsibility, all these people's lives in your hands. Personally, I take that responsibility very seriously. I'm the guardian of my village too, so.
You. A guardian. So, how are you protecting your people if you're here?
What? I'm not. I mean, I am. I
can't get this VTuber right.
There.
Oh my god.
Still. I have to
That is the best argument you could ever have. I have to save the world first.
in common. We're both warriors, right?
Before she died, Avatar KYOSHI trained an elite force in her image. One ready to protect not only our homes, but our way of life.
I can't
That
get this
tradition
thing
has
right.
been passed down through the generations, and it is now my honor to protect this community and to uphold the values of the Avatar. That is why I'm not just a warrior. I'm a KYOSHI warrior.
Honestly, face. Why?
Someone needs to put a bell on you.
Agreed.
Food in the village hall.
And? Okay, creep. Yeah! Leave!
Not home cooking, but not bad. Just try that gun drumstick.
Are you really an airbender?
Yep.
Gotta admit, he has a way with people. He knows how to connect, to get through to people like he did last night. That's his real power. Connection, building bridges.
Oh, here's the statue.
He's gonna be the Avatar.
Right. There goes the savior of the world.
I mean, actually.
To have people from the outside here.
You don't remember the days when the war raged all around us, and we lived in constant fear of the Fire Nation.
The war is still raging
There's
around
a reason
you.
we've avoided that all these years.
Avoided.
Ignored.
We've avoided a lot of things by living the way we do.
Be that as it may, we've stayed safe.
If not happy.
This is like a whole you'll not. What's the thing from American Dad? You'll live, but you will not live well. It's just like, at that point, is it truly living? I don't know. It's kind of like KYOSHI stayed frozen for the entire period of the war, just like Aang did. I don't know if that's like a parallel we're trying to draw. Like Aang's resurrection is now KYOSHI Island's resurrection, and because KYOSHI Island is so deeply connected to KYOSHI, that's like some kind of like spiritual path that had to be taken. I don't know. It's the full circle kind of idea. You need a moving target to get better. Oh. I love this bit.
Seriously? Belle, think about it. Made it myself. It's great in combat and hunting and...
Hunting?
Yeah, hunting. For tiger whales. Yeah, that's it. Dangerous. Tiger whales. Ferociously deadly tiger whales. I could run you through the basics if you want.
I mean, she's been watching you. She has the fans. I think she got it, actually. I feel so bad for you. I feel like you're really good at it. You just... Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Us Southern Water Tribe warriors are known more for our hand-to-hand fighting.
No, why did you say it?
Oh, right. Now?
You're gonna get hurt, man.
Okay.
You're going to the ground so fast. Yep. And your air is cut off and go to sleep. Go to sleep. Okay. I mean, okay. I kind of like the character of Suki more in this. There's just so much more personality that's being communicated that we didn't get in, I believe the episode is KYOSHI Island. The first time we went to KYOSHI Island in the original. And like, because of that, you now get this more interesting and kind of natural relationship forming between Sokka and Suki. As opposed to the KYOSHI Island episode where I'm expecting, if you're watching this, you've seen that, where at the end it's just she kisses him. I'm also a girl. It was written for kids. Like, I could see how that came to be. They were there way longer than we saw in the actual episode. But for this one seems like so natural. Like, you meet someone from far away, they're exciting. A combination of like, this is the outside world, this is a person I've not seen, this is a person I'm not familiar with. Like, what's it called? Nuance? Not nuance. Kind of. The novelty of the situation then evolved into like a deeper interest and like this goofy, awkward pairing. Sokka can't talk, Suki doesn't know how to act. It just like flows better in that aspect.
Nothing about the Avatar state or any other place.
Oh wow, he's actually studying.
That can help me train. So how am I supposed to figure out how to save the world? How do I stop the Fire Nation from hurting more people?
Did you know she was an orphan? Lived on the streets until she was hired as a house girl for the richest family on the island.
That's true.
She was quiet and kind. No one had a clue she'd become the Avatar.
Yeah. How'd she go from this to that?
I mean, she's also really assertive. Like, it's not like she was a pushover. She was kind. She was a kind person. And because she was so overly kind, she couldn't... I don't want to say deal. She couldn't stand the fact that people could be so cruel, not only to like each other, their fellow citizens, but also to people so close to her that she loved dearly. And also supposedly people that they in turn should have been holding dearly. And she became who she needed to be to stop what was happening. Also, just want to say, this is such an awesome paint. I want this painting to hang on my wall. Like, if I had to gather art, it's art from this Netflix adaptation that I'd want to like just get and have a wall of it. That would be so cool.
In peace. I never wanted to fight, and I'm afraid of hurting someone.
Because of
Back home,
things
the other
Sokka
kids used
said?
to say I was lucky because I never really had to train. But I did have to train. Not to develop my powers, but to keep them under control. I'm sorry! No one said anything, but I could tell. They were scared of me. Just like how you and Sokka were when I went into the Avatars.
I mean, okay, just on that note, like, at that point, do you not tell him he's the Avatar? Why would you wait? Okay, see, now I'm mad that they didn't tell him sooner. Which is weird, because I was mad in the last episode about him not being told later. Okay, I don't know how to phrase this. It's like, I get as a kid, there's a lot of stuff like your teachers will not tell you. Just generally, I learned that when I was older, after exiting school. Like, there's a lot of things your teachers don't tell you. But I feel when there's a problem, we need to kind of sit down and discuss, especially if, like, this is a community where you don't really have a nuclear family unit or a parental unit who looks after you. You kind of just have the people who are teaching you. Your teachers need to be way more involved in that scenario. I can't speak to homeschooling, but I assume it's... No, I don't even assume it's the same. It's not the same. It's just... It's a whole new dynamic that I'm not familiar with, where it's just like you're living with your teacher. You don't have a real concept of like parentage, but then that doesn't matter because literally the community takes care of you. So the community, the elders of the community, your teachers, the people who are in charge of making decisions should really be able to tell you, hey, we think maybe you should do this so that you don't hurt people. I don't know if that makes sense, but that sounds like what you should do.
What if nothing in here can help me? What if I never learn how to control my power? How many people will I hurt?
But imagine what'll happen if you don't even try.
There's a monologue issue again. I don't know. It's a weird thing.
Aang, you're not alone. According to this, all the previous
Just a
avatars
few
are incarnations
flips
of your
of
past
the
lives.
page.
You are literally not alone. The other avatars are inside you. You want someone to teach you, you just need to figure out how to connect to them.
Yeah, like
The
that's
answers
not
aren't
hard.
inside here. They're inside you.
What is it?
Zhao's boat. It's gone.
Chow? He heard something about a flying cow near KYOSHI Island, so he sent it at dawn.
Ah, damn it.
A flying cow?
No. That means we miss one of the most important parts for Zuko's arc and like story and understanding him. the Agni Kai was such a crucial how do we skip the Agni Kai? I said it 2 different ways. Agni Kai, how do we skip that? Oh man, okay. This whole pacing thing is it's not boding well for the end rating of this series. Like, do I enjoy it at the end of this? Oh no. We're destroying, like, character building moments. And I don't know how I feel for that. We're destroying character building moments for story. Which, I don't know. It's like, a lot of people generally like... I'm stopping so much in the middle of this video. There's so much to just discuss that I might just have to hold off till the end. But there's just... I'll talk about this at the end.
Stop! 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 Stop!
What's up with people and peeping through doors? Keep moving, fool! Why does no one keep moving?
Stop!
Okay.
Stop! Dismiss.
You're so stiff. Yep, there we go. He's not getting worse. I don't know if that's better.
The world needs you, Atla. The world needs you.
Imagine what'll happen if you don't. Scared of my power. I'm scared of being alone.
When the world needed the Avatar the most, he vanished. He ran.
I don't want power.
Which is why you will make the great Avatar.
Avatar KYOSHI, help me. Hey?
Intro. Okay. Okay. I stopped again. Cause, like, I don't know how I feel about the idea that cause the way the Avatar state, the way the Avatar state has worked is that it's kind of, it's like pouring water, I guess would be the best analogy. I don't know a better one. Emptying, like, balls from a tube of tennis balls. Like, if it's organized red, yellow, blue. The blue was put in first, then the yellow, then the red. So when you empty it, red comes out first. That's kind of how the Avatar line is supposed to work. Like, the reason he connects it to Roku is because that is the closest connection in his past lives that he had. The reason Korra in Legend of Korra, for anyone who hasn't watched it, please click off right now. 3, 2, 1. The reason that Korra in Legend of Korra connects to Aang first and then the rest of her lives is because Aang was her closest past life. Though Korra wasn't very spiritual, there's only really two avatars she met, which is insane that it was the previous one before her. Then she kind of saw the whole line, which Aang also does in Book 2, Episode 1 of the original series. Avatar state, I believe it is. But then the next Avatar Korra meets is 1, which is the first. So she literally met the last, then the first. But yet again, it was still in the last in, first out order. That's like my only issue with it.
Hey.
Damn.
It's about time.
Okay, yep, that sounds like KYOSHI.
I'm sorry. I didn't know how to reach you. I didn't know I could reach you.
I want to look up how tall the actor for KYOSHI is.
I think I'm getting the hang of it.
So close, my friend.
You need to turn your opponent's power against them. Reflect their strength.
Good job, though. Progress made. You can get off him now.
Thanks, you're a great teacher.
And you're an excellent student. Though I'm sure you were helped by your previous training. You know, as your religious...
Self-taught. Self-taught. I wrote down a note that I'm excited to do at the end.
Where I'm from, there's not much call for a real warrior.
I think you're a real warrior.
Not like you. You're not even a bender, and you're the fiercest fighter I've ever met.
Not being a bender means we have to be even better than benders.
I mean, there are a lot of
We
non-benders that are
can't
better than
reshape
benders.
mountains and burn forests. So we have to fight with what we have. What matters is not the power inside. It's the will and desire. The heart. The truth is, I envy you. I've always wondered what the world outside was like, but I never had the courage to leave. I've always wondered what I'd find. Now I know.
Okay, wait a second. I really love this version of Suki. Oh my gosh, like, okay. Literally, I've been punishing myself by not reading any more Avatar stuff till I finish the Avatar Legends role-playing game. Game rules, the rule book. The name for the book blanked. I have it right here, but I'm not gonna read it. Literally, the last thing I read from the Avatar series. No, wait, that would be the Azula thing. But Suki alone. Suki alone. Man, okay. Suki alone kind of went into what's happening now. Like, all this character development she didn't get in the original series was explained a lot in Suki alone. Where I believe, like, other characters tell us things about Suki in the original. Like, Suki went off. You guys inspired her to do better in the whole Avatar Day incident. But then in Suki alone, we see, like, how that journey went before she reached where we find her in book 3. And we're getting, like, allusions to that right now in episode 2 of the Netflix series. Like, okay, for all the wrongs they may do in the future and are doing now, the one thing that I will laud them for is that they got Suki so right, so well. I love this version of Suki. Better than the original, sadly. And actually, no, it's not even that it's a different version of Suki, because it's the same Suki. It's just that we're getting to know her way better than we did in the original. Yeah, the mom's outside. Yup. Oh, okay. No, that wasn't the mom.
The bell.
Attack. No, you fool, you're under attack.
It's the town alarm. Someone's coming.
way around Zhao's men. He'll have made it to the village by now.
In Pai Show, the first move is not always the best. Knowledge of your opponent, knowing where he might go, is more important than speed. And so, where there is one avatar, there may be another.
That was just brilliant. I'm gonna call it an Iroism. Cause like Iroh's like sayings. I just love, okay, I'm gonna call them Iroisms. That was a great Iroism. And that one was easy to understand. Like, I get the joke in the original series is that his Iroisms are harder to understand, like, in the moment. But generally speaking, they're always... No, I guess Zuko saying his uncle's Iroisms is hard to understand. Iroh's Iroisms are really insightful. And that one, while a bit more straightforward than I think Iroh would normally be, was still a good Irohism.
Such a lovely island.
And we welcome you to it, Commander. Though we wish we'd had some advance notice, we are quite unprepared for guests.
Funny. That's not what I'd heard. I understand you had an unexpected visitor just the other day.
You must be mistaken. We like keeping to ourselves.
I've heard.
You've heard a lot.
Yes, I've heard KYOSHI Island has had an admirable history of staying, shall we say, insignificant. Which is why there's been no need for the Fire Nation to get involved in your affairs. I'd hate to see all that change because of an outsider.
Commander, the way I see
Also,
it, you and your men are the only outsiders.
accurate. Because Avatar Aang is Avatar Kyoshi. This is his island.
You won't mind if we take a look ourselves.
I expected
Go ahead.
as much.
Apparently. Oh no! This has gone bad!
Every avatar is different. We are shaped by the different demands of our times.
We'll have to figure this out
I mean,
myself.
she did.
That is part of the journey.
But what if I hurt someone along the way?
That's still part of the journey.
And how many have already been hurt because you haven't been here?
Oh, Kyoshi is
Run
mad.
away from your responsibilities again, and even more will be hurt. Being the Avatar means putting your duties above all else, even your life.
Yeah, you're 12, but Kyoshi's been around,
I
yeah.
was like you once. But then, I saw what was at stake. And I will show you what will happen if you fail. Tragedy awaits the North, and unless you do something about it, another race of benders will be wiped out just as the air nomads were. You asked me what it means to be the Avatar. It means being a warrior. A mighty, merciless warrior.
They're bringing more men.
We can't hold them off for much longer. Where is your friend? You said
I mean, give it a second. Give it a second. He's gonna be fine.
You. I'm getting through one way or another. What happens to you is your choice.
So what's the point?
You want things to be easy. None of this will be easy. Avoid your duties any longer, and not only will you fail to save the world, you won't even be able to save this island.
This island? From
Are
what?
you serious?
From the danger you've put them in right now.
My friend.
Now leave!
You wanted to know about the power of the Avatar. I will show you what that power can do.
Impossible.
What? Okay, so he just learns firebending? I mean, Roku did it first. I'm not really that mad.
This is all my fault. I brought this here.
Which is why you have to go. Now.
We can't just leave.
I mean,
They want the Avatar.
yeah, she's
not
right.
us.
There's nothing here that we've lost that can't be replaced. And you've given us something far more valuable in return. A reason to believe again. In our village, in ourselves, and in the Avatar.
Listen, I wish we had more time.
I know. I do too. Thank you, Sokka,
For what?
for bringing the world to me.
What did he get?
Hey! Nifty trick you pulled back there, channeling scary lady.
KYOSHI, but yes, that's an accurate description.
KYOSHI said I can only call upon one of the past avatars when I'm in the shrine.
That's a cool role.
She had no idea the Avatar would be there. If your Highness had been more forthcoming earlier, we might have avoided this misunderstanding. I hope we can put this behind us.
Of course, Commander.
Agni Kai?
Don't tell anyone
Damn it, Zuko.
about the Avatar. No one else can know.
But of course, I fully understand the sensitive nature of this information. And
This
if
is
you'll
not the
permit
move,
me,
man.
working together, we'd be able
This
to
is not the
devote
move.
twice as many resources to the hunt. Obviously, with your Highness taking the lead in all matters.
An excellent
I'm
suggestion,
sorry,
Commander.
what?
We would be honored to have your partnership and your loyalty.
Haha, loyalty from Zhao.
There's nothing more
I'd love to see the day.
than knowing where to place my loyalties. To your Supreme Eminence, the great flame
Immediately.
of the world.
Immediate betrayal.
I
Of
am
course.
a humble servant in the
Like, I'm not even surprised. This is an immediate betrayal.
I have news for you of a critical nature. I know this information
I'm
may
not good at
arrive
this
as a
VTuber
shock, and you
face.
might be tempted to dismiss it as rumor or delusion. But rest assured, I have witnessed these events with my very eyes. That is why I can report an astounding development. One that could change the future of the Fire Nation.
Ozai, Ozai, Ozai!
The Avatar has returned.
I knew who was playing him, but still, that's amazing. Okay, just like vibes coming off that episode. I'm flipping the pages. Vibes coming off that episode. I'm conflicted. The vibes are conflicted. Okay. I'm not sure how I felt about the rush pacing. Like, as soon as we went through, like, the first 3 episodes, I've been using a filler word way too much, like, as soon as we went past the first few episodes of the original in just episode 1, I was just like, okay, they're skipping over things that should be grouped together. But then they're now, like, changing motivations, which in some characters, that's great. Like, apparently, the soup the Suki Saka relationship, I was trying to figure out which name to say first. The Suki Saka relationship, I think, evolved much better in this adaptation than in the original. That being said, I don't know if I like them changing when we learn more about Zuko. But okay, I think I should start getting into some of the notes I wrote, because I think it fills out more of my thinking of it fills out what I thought during the episode, so let's get to that. Okay. The first note I have for episode 2, it was fast-paced. We moved so fast. Okay, they were at the temple. Then, I don't know how to say it. Okay. Let's get story beats. So, they started at the temple. They had this discussion. We need to go with the Avatar. We move up. Okay. So the reasoning for why they went to Kyoshi Island changed, and that may have hit the pacing a bit. I don't know. It feels like we cut from scene to scene a bit too fast. We skipped a lot of stuff from the original that I don't know if it was better to remove yet. The fast pace is just too noticeable, and I don't even think it's like fast paced compared to the original adaptation. I think it's fast paced for their own writing. Like, it seems we jump from scene to scene so rapidly that it's jarring. Now, secondly, the second note. Monologues. I don't know if I should call them monologues. Let me get to a part. Dialogues like Aang in this meeting, this gathering with the Elder and Suki. I don't know how to describe it. Actually, I do know exactly how to describe it. So, the One Piece live action, I'm going to continue comparing this to the One Piece live action. I apologize if that frustrates people. But in the One Piece live action, I felt like they took Oda's world, which Oda's world feels like a great expanse that's so immense, but so rich and full, and they shrunk it. And that's what it felt. It felt like Oda's world was shrunk. But that was the same for like everything, like every person's movements, every like little thing became shrunk, became small. They became kind of a perfect pocket version of One Piece, which is what I think the live action is. It's like a really good, smaller view, like compact version of One Piece. And I feel like you could have gotten the same with this Avatar adaptation, but they're not hitting that. I'm feeling like it's small moments or people in a large expanse, like someone speaking into an empty room and hearing an echo. That's what I feel with like the monologues. I also forgot to put subtitles on this. I'm so sorry. Either way, that's what I feel with the monologues. It's just so quiet. It feels like it's so isolated and so lifted from the rest of the world that it's kind of jarring. The actors are doing a great job, but I don't know. There's more on what I think about the dialogue later in my notes, so I'll get back to that. But yeah, the feeling of like the conversations and the scenes, they just feel so lifted from the world as opposed to like taking place in it and like filling it in. being a part of the world that I'm watching. Okay, third note. KYOSHI gained help from strangers. Okay, yeah, that quote. I put a question mark at the end of that sentence. I don't think she got... okay, this is just kind of a me personal thing, because I love the KYOSHI novels so much. KYOSHI currently is my favorite Avatar. I don't know if the new Avatar coming out will change that. I don't know. I just don't know. KYOSHI's my favorite Avatar so far. I haven't read the Young Chen novels or the Roku novels. So, currently KYOSHI's my favorite. But, in the novels, she gets help from what is like a small gang, essentially, that her parents used to run. So she kind of like can you even say grandfathered into that? Kind of. She grandfathered into it rather than it being strangers. I think literally nearly every stranger she met from that point on was either apathetic or not great. That's just my opinion, but she was running with a gang. I don't know what happens later in her life, if that changes, if like the things she was doing started changing the Earth Kingdom and the world for the better. But I don't think the strangers were very helpful. Only her friends and only her found family, literally found family, because that's what the Dafei are, was helpful, in my opinion. Okay. The fourth note, Suki and Sokka's relationship was just more natural. I feel like constantly that like one scene in the original show just, I don't know, it just rubs me the wrong way sometimes. Like when I think about it, just like, when did this happen? And of course it happened. It just happened off screen. So ironically, I think that episode has the opposite issue from its Netflix adaptation in this episode. Where they diverted attention, which may be the reason they chose not to go so far into Zuko's thing in this adaptation, is because they diverted attention so we had less time to spend in Kyoshi Island. We kind of just did constantly incremented time skips where just like they've been here for 3 days, they've been here for 6 days, they've been here for a week. But this, I don't know. That also might be the reason. Okay, the fast-paced thing was also because in this scene, she gave them 48 hours, 2 days, to do everything they needed. While in the other one, everyone kind of just loved him so he could stay as long as he wanted. We get the... Okay, I'm going to talk on that later. Put a pin in that. But because of the whole jumping and time skipping in the original, I don't think we really got to see what developed on Kyoshi Island. So we didn't get to see Sokka and Suki grow closer, and their relationship kind of just seemed like, oh, okay, that happened, so that's a thing. Was kind of the situation back then. But currently, in this adaptation, that's not the case. It was like an awkward teenage relationship. That's just what it was. And it was really enjoyable to watch. So I really love that part. And it's constantly why I keep saying, I love this adaptation of Suki. We're getting a lot more of her character. And it just lends so well to their blossoming relationship. Okay, the fifth note I had here, skipped Agni Kai, missed huge parts of Zuko's arc. Yeah, I'm a bit mad about it. Zuko's arc is one of my favorite parts of the original, and to just skip over it is a travesty in writing, honestly. I don't know, that might be too extreme. But it's so I don't know how to it just it irks me. That's how I should phrase it. It irks me. They skipped over his part, and Yeah, I don't know. It's maddening. Though, okay. They did skip over his part, but this, like, bits of worry that we saw throughout the thing. Let's see if I can find a scene. Yes, these bits of worry, like here when he's talking with Iroh. I believe it's this scene. Yeah, here when he's talking with Iroh, like those. Then later on, he's kind of in a hurry in Zhao's office, and it kind of like gets their attention. He's like, he's filled with anxiety, is what I'm trying to say. Like those moments of worry and like the break in this like strong persona, this strong Fire Nation soldier, and just seeing that like 16-year-old who's been banished from his family. And then like the final moment that just like that, where like the point of Zuko seems more empathetical, which is a note I have later that I'll probably skip now. The point where I realized, hey, Zuko is way more empathetical in this, and like I feel like the hesitation and the kindness that he has, but that's also the reason he got banished. I'm still trying to find that last scene where it was this scene where Katara was. I don't know.
You want things to be
yes, this scene where she's fighting the trauma with the Fire Nation and her parents. Then this moment where I don't know if I can do English CC. No, okay, wait, was it before this? Okay, so this scene where he starts fighting with Katara. I don't know if it's a scene.
I warned you. No one's going to stand in my way.
Okay, I can't find it now. I'll find it later and throw it in. Okay, so this scene where he just like pleaded with Katara to just like stay out of his way. Like you can see not really the conflicts, but the pangs he's going through to achieve his goal. Like he realized like, I have to do this. You're not the person I'm after. I don't want to hurt you, but please just get out of my way or I'm going to have to use force. It's like that idea that this is the only thing, the only hope that I have, that I can see the empathy, the anxiety. It's Zuko's character is displayed so much more. It's more show than it is tell. And I think that's the trade-off we got for not seeing his backstory in this episode. So even though, yes, yet again, they skipped the Agni Kai and Zuko's backstory, I see where we get the payoff. So I'm not that mad about that note now. I was mad when they skipped it. Okay. Next note, because I've lost the count. Sokka learns fast. Evidence of talent was the note I put down. So yeah, Sokka, I don't know how to describe, in book 3 where he started to learn how to use his sword, I think that's the first time I realized he might actually be a prodigy warrior. I didn't even think about it when he was learning on KYOSHI, because yet again, the time skips kind of made the development that they got on KYOSHI harder to understand. The point of the episode in the original show was to show the reason they need to keep moving and the consequence of spending time somewhere else. And while this did that more overtly, it's just like, hey, this is the reason you can't stay here. You're going to threaten us. Instead, they did that in a rapid manner, in a fast manner, which is yet again the note fast paced. They did that so quickly. And it is kind of jarring, but then we then get to see more of Kyoshi Island. So that part actually, I don't know, there's so many trade-offs that needed to take place for this episode standalone, and also for the story they're telling, to actually grow not only the characters, but also the place where this episode takes place. They needed to expand on the world, and that's what they did. It's impressive. The next note is first time meditating and looking inward. My handwriting is kind of hard to read. So that note, I think I was doing it when Aang first sat in front of the statue of Kyoshi. By the way, the statue of Kyoshi, just a tangent, the statue of Kyoshi being placed on, like, I don't know what you call it on an island, the plateau of the island looking out to the sea, kind of where a lighthouse would be. It being placed there, it's so cool. I don't know if it's better than the center of a city. I think the center of a city is a better place to pay respects to someone rather than like out on a cliff facing the ocean. Granted, they're a fishing village though. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say that was a poor place to place a statue. It was a cool place to place a statue. And it also, it was kind of like a lighthouse. It was a huge tower with like an entrance. It was really cool. Okay, that was a tangent. The meditating, first time meditating and first time looking in, it happens so much faster. Yet again, the whole pacing thing. It seems like we've also scrubbed out Roku's Island. We're not doing that. There's so many episodes that are just being like ripped out of the book. It's just like, okay, we've done meditation, we've talked to Navatar, we know what we're doing. Rip those 2 episodes. I don't know if we're gonna meet Hey by now. It's just, wow. Okay. That was just a small note. This was a note of the first time he's doing it to connect to the Avatar state. Okay, next note. Look for how tall Kyoshi acted. Okay, I'm gonna do that right now. I have my tablet here. I'll use my tablet. I'll also need a screenshot of this.
A few moments later.
Okay, fine. While we're waiting for my tablet to stop lagging. Next note after I'll talk about the notes soon. But the next note after look up Kyoshi's actor's height. Cause yeah, they got a good actor for Kyoshi, or that was special effects. I don't know. I don't know if they did like a Lord of the Rings thing, which I haven't seen Lord of the Rings, but I've seen like the behind the scenes kind of how they filmed some of those scenes. Or is it The Hobbit I looked at? I don't know. But the next note is convo with Kyoshi, comma, exemplary. Yeah, this whole conversation that he's having, I don't know. Okay, like before I said the monologues or the dialogues felt like they lifted out and away from the world that we were in. And that was kind of jarring to me. That's like the feeling I got when Aang's actor spoke, when the elder of this village spoke, Suki's mom spoke. I don't know. The only conversations I felt like were kind of, or the moments I felt, I don't know. The conversations don't feel natural or lived in. It doesn't feel like the world is lived in when they're speaking. It does feel like we're elevating the 2 actors out of the world to have a conversation, then we bring them back. While the actions in the world are just so amazing. But for some reason, the conversation with Kyoshi and Aang in the vision was just so exemplary. That's a scene. That's how, like, I feel all their conversations should be Like the world is a part. That's what it is. Okay, I just realized this. I'm gonna play this scene, and I think I've noticed it.
Both sides will fight hard.
I don't know if it's
because
that
the
echo.
Avatar-
Just wait. It might be an audio thing they did.
You're saying it all.
Yes. Okay, it's
It
the
will.
echoing. Like literally, I said their conversations felt like them standing in an empty room and shouting, and it's echoing. But this, okay, when ironically, when they add the echoing into the episode, it actually fills out the world. Like, okay, a thing they could have done in the scene, the meeting that they had, would have been to like have conversations or whispers or even just like the sound of the trees in the wind outside. Like, I don't know, it's an audio effects. It's not like the actors are good. It's not the actors. It's how the audio feels in the world. It feels like we're not there. We're not in that room. We're just like so far away from the actual environment. I'm doing a lot of body movements that will not be displayed by this VTube model. But, yeah, it's just like the conversation with Aang and KYOSHI felt like it was lived in the world because of this echoing effect. And because it's kind of like they are supposed to be separated from the world, but no, it's like they're imprinted in the world. That's what I'm trying to say. It's so hard to get the feeling right, but it just felt like the conversations in this episode for some reason just were so departed from the rest of the world. While episode 1 I don't think had that problem. I can't remember a single scene from that episode that felt like that. Okay, we're looking up back to Netflix KYOSHI Heights.
Many hours later.
I don't like the AI answers. Okay, I'm definitely gonna get dinged for butchering this name, but this is the first time I'm seeing this name. Yvonne Chapman. I don't know if it's English last name, French last name. It looks European. I don't know. Yvonne Chapman. Chapman. I'm just gonna say Chapman. I feel like I'm gonna get that wrong. Yvonne Chapman just seems born for this role, and she's 5'8". That's actually shockingly shorter than I thought. It's not short. Okay. The reason I'm saying 5'8" is shocking because I'm 6 foot. So it's throwing me off. I thought every time I picture KYOSHI in relation to my own height, I always think KYOSHI is so much taller than me. Like she is a mountain compared to me. Which I don't know, I should try get the height out of the novel and post it here to see how tall she actually was in the books, but yeah, 5'8" was just kind of unexpected. I have to remember to screenshot this so I can just show you my work. Fine, now that we've got that out of the way. Zuko, more empathetic. I'm gonna skip that note because I went through it a lot, but at least we have an audio bite for putting ahead of that part. And then, final note. The KYOSHI Island segments... I need to put this close to my face to read it. The KYOSHI Island segments are better, but at a cost to Zuko's backstory. Yeah, I think I talked about that a lot throughout my notes, throughout the episode. It's just that Zuko's backstory is one of my favorite parts of the original series. I've said that before. And to skip his backstory was just so shocking. But like stepping back from that, from that initial shock and looking at the episode in a whole, and even just experiencing it after really just getting immersed in the episode, I felt like they built out KYOSHI Island more and KYOSHI's story more, and also Suki's story, the island story, how it's functioned, how it looks to the rest of the world. Like, they actually showed development, not only of the story, the world, but the characters. I don't know why I phrased that so early. They didn't only show development in the story, which I think I criticized them for in the middle of this, but they also showed development in the world and the characters. So for the story they're telling, I think, I hate to say this because I had such a visceral reaction through the entirety of watching this, but I think removing Zuko's backstory may have been a good idea. And it hurts to say that. I love this version of Suki so much. And that's not like it's a different version from the original. It's Suki with exposition, which is what Suki Alone was about. It's like they took Suki Alone and sprinkled it in this episode, and that made it better. It's at the cost of his backstory, which is a terrible loss. I hope we get it later. But in return, we get a better Suki, and we get a better Suki-Sokka relationship, which just felt so much more natural. I guess I should actually, one final note based on that was, remove, like the thing that everyone said when this originally came out, which is months at this point, was that, like, removing Sokka's sexism, which, yet again, I do think removed, like, a lot of motivation for a few actions, but we're skipping over a lot of those things. So I don't know if we've lost a lot. But removing it from this part of the story kind of just made him like an awkward guy. I don't know. He's kind of like Sokka. Sokka reminds me for some reason of Hunter from Owl House. This adaptation of Sokka, where he's just a mad but sad boy. Or however Luz phrased it in Owl House. It's like, yeah, he's mad his father left and he has a lot of responsibility, so he's on edge all the time. He feels like he's failing. Even in this episode, at some point, I believe it's like in the training hall, he said he doesn't feel like a real warrior, which I don't think is true. When Zuko attacked, he defended the village. He left people in charge. He's been training people. He's mostly self-taught, and that's impressive. However, it's just like he has a lot on his shoulders that not only he put there, but also his father put there. And him being mad more than like this overconfident, kind of egotistical character in the beginning, which is kind of the reason for the sexism and well, their culture is the reason for the sexism, but that's a different story. The impact of the sexism came from like a sense of ego and him asking for help in the original series. Him asking for help was a coming to terms that he needed to be stronger. Whether it's through a realization that he needed to protect people or he wants to be as strong as them, he realized that and started practicing. It's kind of the same in this adaptation, but it feels more glossed over and kind of more natural, honestly. Well, no, that one, I think the original actually had a more natural, like, humbling effect. This one kind of seemed like they glossed over his humbling and just skipped right to the, okay, I need to be a better warrior. Which I guess, I don't know, it's so hard. because of how they've written his character in this adaptation, his actions make sense. And it becomes a bit more natural with his relationship with Suki. But this feels like a completely different Sokka, is what I'm gonna say. It feels like we're abandoning traits of the original characters for this story. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm just making a Sokka awkward but not sexist note right now. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's all I have for this episode. I don't think the series, their departure from the original may be hurting my likability of this show currently. And that's because we're diverting from so many of what I observe in the original as good storytelling moments, great storytelling moments that made me love a lot of characters. But I'm also meeting new moments that I really enjoy. The first one was an example of the show just not being as bad as other adaptations that shall not be named. But this episode is an example of how good the writing is for the story they're trying to tell. I'm just not sure that story will be at the level of Avatar: The Last Airbender by the end of this. And that is currently my concern. I felt that concern less in the original, but I feel it a lot right now. Yeah, that's just my final thoughts. On to the outro. So there you have it. Episode 2 of Season 1 of Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender. This episode left me feeling a bit conflicted of whether I like the show or not. But hopefully, you're not conflicted about liking this video and hitting that notification bell to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay balanced.